Hey guys, Addict Cyclist here, back with a video to highlight my initial impressions on the Kask Utopia Y. So I had a Kask. It was my first helmet ever, actually, and fit great. I loved the faux leather chin strap. Always felt that it was a really good fitting helmet. And 2019, I went down in it was like a charity ride, and at mile 80, unfortunately, the person in front of me had crossed my wheels, and I blame myself because I didn't give enough room. Came across my line and just chopped that front wheel, and unfortunately, I went down head first, and the Kask Protoni literally saved my life. I would have definitely, my head would have cracked like an egg. So after that, I wanted just to try something different, so I went with an Aero helmet. I went with the Evade 2, and so I never went back to Kask, but since they came out with the Utopia Y in their new version, which basically the only main revision is the Octo Fit Plus has a little bit of a wider pad in the back, which I'll highlight, and obviously the redesigned padding, which I'll showcase in a second here. But I've been riding the Specialized S-Works Evade 3 now for a season and change, and I like the helmet. It fits good. It sits really high on top of the head, and I guess because they lost some of that shaping here they had on the Evade 2, which this Kask does have, there's a lot of wind noise. I mean, a lot of wind noise. So there's no doubt this helmet is very aero. It's possible that it's probably the most aero, regular helmet on the market. But it comes with just this really bad wind noise, real bad wind buffering. And it does sit very high in the head, so it almost feels like your head's sticking out up in the wind a little bit more. Yeah, all right, yeah, it's definitely getting more airflow. I mean, it's a really sharp-looking helmet, but on my head, it looks like I'm wearing just a big fishbowl. And again, because there's no cutout, I assume that's why that there's just more wind buffering. So I saw this new Utopia Y, and I said, you know what? I wanted to get back into a Kask. It fit me the best out of all the helmets that I've owned: Giro, Specialized, obviously Kask, Bell. And I just wanted to give it a go here. And also, too, it sits very low on the head, has a very low profile, not so much sitting on top of your head. It definitely wraps around your head better, and you can see how the cutouts are. And so let's just kind of dig into it here. So not going to go too much on the S-Works. There's plenty of videos on that, but I just wanted to highlight here this Kask. So I found it in this gloss black. The matte was back ordered to like mid-June, but I personally like the gloss a little bit better. Put a little silicone shine on there, and the thing's really shining. And so it does have really nice forehead vents, right? It does have a pretty large center vent and a vent on top here, and then two, again, side vents here to help that airflow. I did notice that when I did take it around the block, just for the initial impressions, and I was lucky enough that the main road around my neighborhood had a tailwind and a headwind. So, and I just got done with a ride, right? So I put this on, feels lighter on the head, sits lower. No, there's a mild wind buffer compared to the Evade 3. So I knew instantly that this is going to be a keeper. I will not be returning it, and I'm looking forward to getting more rides on it. And what I also like about it too is that it's not a very long helmet. It's very small profile on the head, where this Evade, because of this tail, right? Look at the depth of that extra tail in the back. And the front too also has some good amount of material. It just sits very large on top of the head, where the Kask is very small, a little bit more of a rounder shape. It does obviously have airflow channels, and even though that these vents are not as large, and the same thing with the exhaust vents, they do flow very well. Like, you can feel the air flying through the helmet because it was a chillier morning. So you can definitely feel that airflow, just like the Evade 3. I wouldn't say one's better over the other in terms of airflow, although the intakes here, the vents are larger on the S-Works. But I found that this is definitely going to be a helmet that I'm excited to try. And what's also nice about this is that the padding on here, right, versus the original Utopia, now has a forehead pad, where originally the padding on here was just these two center pads, and they had small pads on those corners, and people would say that there was a little bit of a pressure points on the temples. and it didn't absorb sweat very well because the sweat would run down these vertical padding and nothing to really catch it in front. So now they got this what's horizontal pad that wraps around your forehead, so it should hold sweat, better, or reduce sweat in your eyes better. What's also very nice is that this is a very, very comfortable helmet. This OctoFit Plus is definitely more comfortable than the S-Works, and I do like how wide these back pads are. Personally, it feels like it's more secure on my head, where this, because it sits so high, it feels like it's kind of flopping around a little bit more. And this is a beautiful helmet, but for me personally, this one fits better. And then the last is that they've revised their faux leather strap, and they put the mechanism here on the side, and it is really comfortable, very, very comfortable. Also knowing that this is also feels lighter on the head, although very similar in weight. The Kask is a little bit lighter. The Kask, because it sits lower, you don't feel the weight on your head. So when you're turning back, to look for a car, or if you're gonna look back to see who's behind you before you go into a turn, it doesn't feel like you're flinging it around. Like, you don't feel the weight on top, because it definitely sits a lot lower. I mean, both good looking helmets. I do like the rear of this Evade 3. I think it's got a little bit more of a new age look to it. That's even a word to use. But both extremely aero, and looking forward to get some more time on it. So again, I didn't really have more than just maybe about 15-20 minutes on it, but I could definitely tell the Kask is definitely going to be a lighter helmet on the head and more comfortable. So there are some Memorial Day sales going on right now. So Mike's Bikes, Western Bike Works, I did see the Utopia Y for as low as $225, marked down from $300. So if you get this video, consider the helmet, get it home, try it on, see how it feels. It's a good time to buy right now because of the discounts. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Urge you to hit that like and subscribe button. Helps support the channel, helps grow the channel, and appreciate it. Thank you. Be well.